Hi, this is Dr. Les, and welcome back to I Bought a Farm. So now what? This first picture and the first video were shot up 2 or 3 hours after the heifers arrived. You can see that they're settling down really well. They're grazing peacefully, and they're not really too agitated or upset about what's going on. Recall that we bought 28 heifers. 23 of them went to the 31-acre farm, while the other 5 went to the 7 acres that's over at the other location. Good morning, this is Dr. Les with UK Beef Group. Our heifers came in yesterday afternoon. I came out this morning to check on them. A little bit chilly this morning, and I've got to work outside all day today, so you'll see me in my work clothes. But we're just going to walk through the heifers, going to look at them. Mainly looking for signs of illness. Going to go over and check the feed bunk, make sure they cleaned up everything. Go over to the water, see if they've found the water and are drinking a little bit out of that. And that's what our goal is here today. They're not as far away as it looks. I'm about 25 feet from them. Well, more like 50 feet probably. They're not used to me yet, so you can see that they're kind of curious and wondering what I'm doing. I'm just going to slowly move up, not act threatening in any way, shape, or form. Ken and his daughter are feeding them right now. I'll probably start feeding them tomorrow and hollering so that they can get used to me, and when they see me, they know they're going to get something to eat, so that'll make them associate me with something pleasurable, so that, you know, they won't be scared of me or anything. As you can see, a really gentle set of heifers, very uniform set of heifers. We're extremely pleased with them when we got them in yesterday. And they need to shed a little bit, you know. They're still coming off that real heavy winter coat. Here in Kentucky, we've not had a lot of warm weather yet, and so it's going to take a week or two for them to get that old dead hair. Let me zoom in a little bit. Get that old dead hair off of them. All right, really nice set of heifers. Just looking at, so what I'm looking at today is I'm looking for any evidence that they're not doing very well. Okay, snot noses. Anything that's got their head down or sitting away from the group. Every heifer here in this lot is in this group. Just look and see if it's like a big red heifer might be in heat. Looking to see if their ears are down, see if they're depressed in any way, shape, or form. Each one of these heifers is individually tagged, and the farm tag that we received them with were certainly good enough, so we did not replace tags, and we'll just identify them based upon their original farm tag. And again, very, very pleased with the heifers, and they look like they're doing super this morning. Of course, they had plenty to eat, plenty of grass, and 4 pounds of our receiving ration, and it looks like they've done very well eaten, and they're allowing me to get a little bit closer. I'm about 15 feet away, and they're just kind of looking at me. Okay, so I'm pretty pleased with the disposition on these gals as well. One heifer we may have to keep an eye on here as the summer progresses and fly season gets a little out of hand, a little worse anyway, is that Baldy. That's the heifer with the white face. If you'll notice, the skin around her eyes is pink, which always increases the susceptibility of an animal to pink eye. So we'll have to keep an eye on her. But otherwise, these heifers look fantastic this morning. There's nothing showing any signs of illness yet. Usually they'll break within the first 3 days if they're going to break. And so we'll be out here twice a day looking through them. I'll keep the cameras rolling, so if we see any sickness, you guys I'll be able to help point that out. Again, the heifers are kind of getting used to me. That 368 right there, I'm only about 10 feet from her, and they're not looking at me like I'm crazy or anything. They're just kind of all hanging out and just wondering what's going on. See, everybody looks pretty good. No snotty noses. Really paying attention to their ears and the ear position. Their eyes, usually a lot of times when cattle get a little bit sick or not feeling too well, they'll kind of droop their head a little bit. Their ears will go down a little bit. Mainly they won't eat, okay, and so everybody came up and ate tonight, or they'll sort off a little bit, and you won't be able to. There just won't be herding up, okay. So this red heifer down here she likes to wander a little bit. She hadn't figured me out yet. Doesn't really know what to think of me, but I'll get some of them up here pretty close. Can't wait till they get that old dead hair off of them. Nothing like the hair on a fall calving set of cows, right? That hair stays on until middle of May, man. That heifer's really good right there. Look at her. Good looking set of heifers. Everybody's doing great. Everybody's doing great. Here's the other set of heifers. They're in the 5-acre lot that we've got over at the other farm. Remember, there's 31 acres on the main place, and there's 5 acres separate from it. These heifers just got a bite to eat. You can see all five of them came up to eat, and they're all looking really good. This is a good set of heifers. These 5 are picked out so that the landowner's daughter could have some to feed and take care of. She's already named a couple of them. That one there, Blaze looking at us, she's named her Oreo. So I'm not sure what the other ones' names are yet, but this should be fun. She seems to be taking a lot of interest in the heifers. But everything looking great so far. Just called them up. First day that I know that they've come to calling. Scow! Woo! Woo! Scow! Scow! Here they come. Look at that. That's fun. So what we want to do is I want to train them so that every time they see me, they know they're going to get a treat. Kind of like training a dog. I'll just make handling them a whole lot easier. I'm going to back up so that they'll all come to the trough. I don't want any of them to eat any more than what they should. They should be getting about 2 pounds of our receiving ration that we developed. It was 45% corn, 15% soy hulls, 15% corn dried distiller's grain, 15% soybean meal, a little bit of mineral. Looky there. Very happy. Awesome. Starting to get them trained. This will get important for us because when we got to catch them, we'll feed them in the catch pen. And if they all come up rapidly and get to eating, then we're going to be able to get the gate shut on them and not have to drive the cattle at all. Later, when we're moving through the forage system, we'll be able to call them. They'll come to the gate, and we won't have to chase them around or anything like that. So very important. Here they come. Very happy. Walking down to the water to see if they're getting watered, and they found the waters. And notice these cow piles here. You can tell a lot about a heifer and how she's doing, or any sort of beef animal and how she's doing, simply by looking at the cow pile. Okay, you want them to be fairly loose. and kind of laying out a little bit, not super watery, and that's exactly what we have here with these cow piles. Okay, so that gives me an indication that the heifers are doing a pretty good job of processing and not super stressed. Okay, and we're coming up on the water system. All right, these are sitting up a little bit too much, which means that they probably were eating some pretty tough hay last night or yesterday before they came up. I hope to see that kind of loosen up just a little bit as we go. All right, we filled this up yesterday and they drank her down. Got a little bit of mud in it too, it looks like, because it was clean water. We put it right next to our mere fount water, but just in case they couldn't find it, we put that piece of board in there to push the ball over so that the cattle could smell the water. Okay, I'm going to flip this over so that they're not going to drink it, not have access to that old nasty water. Somebody must have stepped in that or something and got mud in it. But anyhow, normally this mirror fount looks like that, and the cattle just push the ball down and drink water. And these cattle were used to drinking out of a water tank like this. Okay, now this is city water. All right, so it's comes from town, so it's good, clean, chlorinated water. Once we're confident that the heifers have found that, then we'll pull that piece of board out of there and let the ball come up, and we'll be in good shape. This is the afternoon of April 29th, the third day after receiving. Just doing a little voiceover here because you can probably notice in the background that the wind is blowing pretty strong, and it was very difficult to hear. Very pleased with the heifers. You can tell that they're calm. They've really settled in well from the hauling and from the transportation in the new environment. We feed them twice a day right now. They're getting 2 pounds per feeding, so 4 pounds total per day. Each time we call them up, the heifers come up, we watch them eat. They're all eating, and they appear to be very healthy. Just looking at their eyes, looking at their heads, their noses, there's no snottiness to them. They're all eating. They all seem to be up and comfortable, and we're very pleased with the progress of these heifers. I'm about 7 or 8 feet away from them here, and you can tell that they're very calm, and this is really going to help us out later in the development when we're trying to move the heifers, when we're trying to work the heifers, to have a nice, calm, gentle set of heifers that don't have much stress in, and that we're able to maximize our gains. Thanks for joining us today for this episode of I Bought a Farm, So Now What?